Hi friends! I'm so grateful you stopped by today. Today I'm really excited because my friend has entrusted me to mend this beautiful vintage coat. And so I'm going to be showing you how to do a couple things. First of all, we are going to do some darning in this top area where the threads are coming apart. And then I'm going to teach you a really easy invisible stitch that can close up these holes if you have a coat that's lining is coming apart a little bit. So let's get into it. I like to start every mending project by assessing the whole garment because there can be really obvious holes or tears in an item, but if you look closely at an older piece like this especially, there are some places that are just starting to wear away, and so I like to catch those and get ahead of them as well. So I'm going to teach you to darn on this biggest hole here. And the first thing that's important to keep in mind is to give enough room around the hole that you're not going to be using the fabric that's insecure and already coming apart to hold your thread in. So the dominant color of my weave today is going to be this cream color that matches the coat. And then I'm going to come in and cross weave with these pink and brown. If you were weaving on a fabric that wasn't as stiff as this one, like a sock or a sweater, you could use any kind of round object behind this to hold the weave up for yourself. But this should be fine because the fabric is pretty stiff. And it's also nice because we're working with 2 layers here, so I won't actually have to sew into this other side of the collar. So I just knotted my thread, and I want to do this specific darn with the running stitches coming into it. I really like the appearance of that. So I'm going to start about 1 inch away from the hole. So I'm going towards it like this. So I'm 1 inch away from it here. And then again, maybe 1/2 inch or so away from it on the side. And then you want these weaves to be pretty close together because you are going to be weaving essentially a new fabric on top of the hole. So if you can see the distance that I'm going to do there. And again, we're doing 1, 2, I meant to do 3 there, 3 running stitches. Then we have our long stitch that eventually is going to stretch over the hole, and then 3 more running stitches. And I'm going to do that all the way over, and then I'll meet you back here when I start introducing my other 2 colors. So fabric is made out of warp and weft. So we have our beautiful warp here, and this would be so easy to do with all neutral colors and make it a beautiful little invisible darn. But my friend did say that she wanted a visible men, so I'm coming in now with these two accent colors, and I'm going to be interchanging them. So we're gonna put both in. So again, I'm just tying a little knot, and it is a little more difficult now that I got my warp threaded up, but I'm just trying to stick it between the two fabrics so I'm not going through both layers. So I got my brown in, and I'm just gonna get my pink in before it gets too heavy with the weaving I'm gonna do. And usually when you see a darn, I mean, it depends. There's no specific way to do it, but most of the time if you see it, you will just see the woven area. Not a lot of times do people do the running stitch leading up to it, but I just love that look. I think it adds so much dimension. So I'm gonna continue with that here where I have the running stitch. Looks like we have room for about 2. And then I've reached my warp, so I'm just gonna do over, under, over, under, over, under, until I'm at the end. And I'm gonna take 2 running stitches again. And yeah, so I will be weaving this up, just repeating that pattern over and over. So I'll catch you when I'm done. All right, here we have our warp and weft combined, and we wove this lovely little darn over the hole. Now I was a little bit stumped what to do with these ends since I don't have anywhere to tuck them in now that I've filled in the hole. So I think just what I'm gonna do is tie them together and cut the ends off closely, and I think that that will look fine because this coat does have these kind of like little tufty spots, so I don't think it will be so obvious that there's a knot showing. And you know, we would definitely rather have this secured than trying to hide our threads, so I'm just gonna snip that off. We have our first darn finished. up, I'll just quickly teach you how to ladder stitch so that we can close up this lining. And ladder stitch works for anything that you don't want to be able to see the thread on. And the reason we don't want to be able to see the thread is because the manufacturer intended for this to be right sides together. And so when it comes apart, ladder stitch is a really easy way to put things back right sides together without having to go back inside. So I got my matching thread here. I guess for the purpose of this video, I probably should have used a not matching thread, but I want my friend's coat to look nice. So you just pull through from the back. And what you're gonna do on the other side, and this is perfect because it has the crease where it's supposed to be sewn together. So on the opposite side that you came up from, you're just gonna scoop up like a little horizontal line of the seam. And then you are going to, like a ladder, come straight across and again pick up a little horizontal slice. And you are just going to continue that until your seam is closed. And you can see here, maybe you can't because I use matching thread, you can see here that it is beginning to form a ladder formation. So you'll start to have that all the way up, and then when you pull it, whoop, totally gone.